I live with my mom in a house we got a year and a half ago, but we didn't move in until 6 months ago because it needed a lot of repairs. The house was in rough shape, so we had to fix many things, including adding a whole new section. While the work was being done, I would visit at night to spend time there. And almost every time I heard creaking sounds, like the house was shifting or something moving inside. The noises made me uneasy, especially since the new section had open areas where someone could easily sneak in. I kept looking around, half expecting to see something, but I never did. I knew houses made random sounds, so I tried to push the thoughts away. Then one late night, while the house was still being fixed, I went to the second house. I didn't have a key, so I used the garage code to get in. The garage door was loud, and you could hear it from almost anywhere in the house if everything was quiet. As it started to open, I suddenly heard loud noises, like pots and pans crashing together. But we didn't have any in the house at the time, which made it even stranger. I was really scared, standing there frozen, trying to figure out what I had just heard and what I should do. I kept looking around, but I didn't see anything. In the end, I decided not to take any chances and quickly closed the garage and then left. I had never heard anything like that before, and it never happened again. But after that night, I didn't feel safe going to the house alone anymore. I only went back if someone was with me. A few months later, my mom and I finally moved in, and things felt normal again. The weird noises I heard while the house was being fixed have lessened, but they haven't completely stopped. I still hear them, mostly late at night when everything is quiet. Since I usually stay up until 3 or 4 a.m., I notice them often. They sound like someone accidentally bumping their elbow against a door or tapping on the walls. To avoid getting scared, I always sleep with my fan on. Since I sleep in late, the fan also drowns out any sounds from outside, making it easier for me to rest without overthinking every creak or thump in the house. Last night, I wanted to save energy, so I didn't turn on my fan. I was lying in bed with the lights off when I suddenly heard a noise that sounded like my basement door closing. It was 5 a.m., so I knew it wasn't my mom. Then I heard what sounded like shuffling in the hallway, getting closer to my room. My mom's bedroom is on the other side of the house, so she wouldn't hear it. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911 but didn't press call, trying to stay calm and think. After a few minutes of silence, I turned on my fan but kept my phone open on the call screen just in case. Eventually, I fell asleep. Now I have foster kittens that sleep in a dog crate near my mom's room. When I woke up in the morning, I noticed that one of them was acting really strange. He seemed scared, staying out of sight in the corner, and hissing when I tried to go near him. I've had him for a week, and the only time he acted this way was on his first day with me. Since then, he had been fine, playing, eating, and letting me pet him. But today, something was different. He was completely fine when I put him to bed last night, so I couldn't figure out what had scared him so much. His brother is much calmer than him, and I haven't noticed any change in his behavior. But since he's more relaxed around strangers, I'm not sure if I would. So I spent half the night in the room next to the hallway, where the attic and basement doors are. I stayed there listening carefully, with my pocket knife beside me just in case. Then around 1 a.m., I heard what sounded like someone moving in the other room. The sound wasn't just the usual house creaks. It was clear, like footsteps. I grabbed my phone and dialed 911 but didn't press call. I didn't want to panic too soon. Then I carefully picked up my kittens, making sure they were safe, and went straight to my mom's bedroom door. This woke up my dog, who has poor eyesight, a weak sense of smell, and gets startled easily. That's why I don't rely on him for protection. I told my mom I thought someone was in the house. She took the dog and walked around outside to check, while I searched all the rooms in the hallway, except for the basement and attic. Then I grabbed a step ladder and climbed into the attic. After my mom returned, we looked around carefully, but it was completely empty. No sign of anyone. Then we checked the basement. My basement is unfinished and connects to a crawl space that leads to a door on our porch. The space is dark, cramped, and easy for someone to hide in. But we didn't check it, which made me feel uneasy. I put tape on the basement door to see if it would move overnight. Instead of going to bed, I stayed in the living room with all the lights on and the TV playing loudly. If someone was really sneaking around, I wanted them to think I was awake so they wouldn't try anything. My brother and father are coming over tomorrow, and I'm going to have them help me check everything out. I don't want to keep feeling like someone might be hiding in my house. It was an ordinary evening, like any other. I was in my room watching TV while my mom was downstairs making dinner. I had my door shut, as I usually did, because I liked my privacy. My room actually connected to the attic because, technically, it was never meant to be a bedroom. It had been converted into one since I was one of 4 kids, so I often heard little cracks in the ceiling just because the attic was right above my room, and there were heavy boxes putting constant pressure on the ceiling. I was used to it, but there was one crack that was just too loud, so loud that it actually made me jump. I almost wanted to pull down the attic door and go up there, but I gave it the benefit of the doubt and assumed it was just pressure. That and the fact that I was scared to go up there. I had always been afraid of that attic, my entire childhood, and I hated that it was connected to my room. During dinner, I told my mom about the abnormally loud crack and expressed my fear to her. She told me there was nothing up there besides boxes, junk, and mice. She followed up the mice part with a smile to let me know she was kidding. The rest of the night after dinner, I stayed in my room watching TV and playing video games. Even after everyone went to bed, I was still playing deep into the night, keeping the volume low so I wouldn't wake anyone up. We had paper-thin walls in that house. I thought I heard another crack in the ceiling, not as loud as the one from earlier, but still concerning enough to make me pause the game and listen. There was nothing. I was having a bit of an adrenaline rush, so I grabbed the stepladder and pulled down the attic door. There was no light up there, just a flashlight to navigate. I didn't go in though. I just peeked my head in through the opening. There was nothing I could see except piles on top of piles of boxes. So it seemed like it really was just the weight of one of the boxes putting pressure on the ceiling. I planned on telling my mom that we should check it out the next day. I was a bit relieved as I went back to playing video games. I turned the game off about an hour later and finally decided to go to sleep. After a while though, I started to hear something from above me. It wasn't the regular cracks I was used to hearing. These were more like thumps. They were constant and moving. It literally sounded like footsteps. The thumps stopped right above the attic door, and there was silence. I stared at that attic door so intently, waiting for something to happen. But when I saw the door slowly begin to lift, it didn't feel real. Even though I was expecting something to happen, I wasn't prepared for the door to actually open. I got out of bed as quietly as I could and tiptoed to my mom's room. When I explained, she nudged me to stay in her room as she left to get my brothers. After a minute of waiting in silence, I heard a commotion from my room. It was my 2 older brothers yelling aggressively and my mom screaming at them to come here. Apparently, whoever was in the attic was gone though, because both of my brothers went up there and didn't find anyone. My mom also heard the noises in the attic but didn't know what to think of it until I came and told her about the door opening. I didn't hear any noises anymore after that day, except for the usual occasional cracks in the ceiling,